atmosphere and the Heavenly Father and the Son. And wanted to do a video. I was inspired, through the uh, the elders of Dallas camp, um, class that they did, featuring, of course, Elder Yashawamba, Elder Ariella, Elder Arianiza, right? Which, was making a lot of good points. Elder Arianiza, Salakia. Just getting back from the plantation. Trying to park real quick. All right. Right. Let me put this up here on the screen. It was this this was a day ago. GMS Dallison class. Give unto the Lord his just due. Right? And in here, they were talking about, how this cell phone that we use, okay, it is, you can get the truth from it, but also, there's all other types of bullshit and distractions that come with this cell phone, and talking about also the first thing that you put your mind to or think about, should be the Most High, sometimes, you do get distracted, and, you gotta refocus in, giving praise and praying unto the Lord should be the first thing you do when you wake up, right? And reading. It's good to read in the morning. And when, they were talking about when you do that, you basically preparing yourself for the battle that day, right? You're girding yourself with the truth, man. Right? Which to gird means to prepare. All right? Make yourself ready for war. Okay? They talk about it. You scientists talk about how when you first wake up, that's when you're the most alert, fresh, right? Your brain waves are operating at a high frequency for those first 20 to 30 minutes that you're awake, right? So whatever you do, and I noticed it too. It's true. Like, say if you first wake up and you listen to a song, right? Now that song is stuck in your head all day long, right? So imagine you wake up and you get into the scriptures, or you wake up and you pray. And let me turn this brightness up. You wake up and you pray, and the scripture, you wake up, you pray, you give thanks to the Lord for another day, and you read the scriptures is on your mind. You've prepared yourself for the day. The scriptures is on your mind all the day long, right? So, you know, and I've been guilty of not following that routine, you know, but that's the right routine to have, man. If you can, before you go to the plantation, you know, you wake up, you pray, you read, okay? And you always want to be in prayer, you know, you pray, you know, pray for safety before you drive, all right? And that's a you know, a a habit of mine. Always praying before I drive, or praying before you do a video, praying before you read. That's also another, you know, those are prayers that I try to do for those particular things before I read, before I do a video, you know, before I leave the house, you know, before I work, if I whether I be, you know, working for the plantation or working for myself, you know, praying that the Lord prosper me in my, you know, to get my daily bread, you know, keep your mind thinking upon the truth, right? Um, those are all important. You know, it's important to pray. Let me see if I can get this. I think I have the precept right here. This is Luke chapter 18, verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Right? So you want to always be praying. Always. So that's important. And that's important, you know, that's even more powerful when that's the first thing you do when you wake up, is you speak to the Lord. You know, they were mentioning in the video too how Satan will make it, you know, make it will try to, you know, make it seem like it's a burden to serve the Lord, or to speak to the Lord, or, you know, do a video, you know, and you got to catch yourself, man. You know, and I actually the other day I caught myself when I was speaking to my wife, cuz I you know, I had a lot of different things to do on a particular day, you know. And as the days, and I said, "Oh man, I got to do." I said, you know, I was like, I said, "Oh, I have to, you know, I have to do a video." Then I caught myself. I said, you know, I have the, I have the privilege of being able to do a video. All right, you know, an edifying video. All right, to the service of Yahweh Shem Shai. I have the privilege, right? I get to do a video. Not, oh man, I gotta do a video. I get to do a video, right? Because this is the rest wherewith the Lord is causing the weary to rest, right? Those of his those who are of the hopeful elect. This is rest. This is peace, right? So it's a great privilege, a great honor to even be able to, hey, to know the name of the Most High and to teach and preach, right? So that's the mindset that should be had. But sometimes Satan try to creep up in there. It's like, oh man, you got to do a video. Aren't you tired? Right? Aren't you hungry? Like right now, you know, I got some food waiting for me, but I'd rather do the video now, because if I go upstairs and eat and shower and sit down, you know, I might not do the video. So I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it now, right? So let's go here to is this the precept right here? Right, now this is the precept they also brought out, which is they gave another aspect of this precept, right? It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High." And it's, sorry, Salakia. This is Matthew chapter 6, in verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Everything that you need, all right, to survive, all right, to live, they'll be added unto you if you put Yahweh Bashim Yahushai first, right? And that's putting the Lord first. When you wake up, speaking unto the Lord, right? Giving him thanks, you know? And I was thinking about it the other day, or yesterday, after I watched that video, you know, for brothers that got children, how would you feel? A shalom to that brother Jeremiah Shemai, Yum Yun, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, right? Hey, how would you feel if for brothers that got kids? How would you feel if your children you in a house with them all day? They ain't say nothing to you. They ain't acknowledge you. They walk right past you. They ain't say nothing. How would you feel? So same thing with the Most High. You go all day. You don't say nothing, right? You don't pray. Or when you wake up, it's like you raised when me growing up. If I wake up and I don't say good morning or greet to my parents, I could get my ass whooped. Right? So how you think the Most High feel? Right? You wake up and the first thing you doing is you going on YouTube Shorts, right? You going on social media, see what's going on, or you playing a little game on your phone that you like to play. You playing a PlayStation, or you listening to a song that you like to listen to, or you texting some chickie do. You texting some woman that you just met, got her number, right? You ain't putting the Lord first if you doing all those different things, right? So when I woke up this morning, so I left my where is it at? Oh, I didn't take a screenshot of it. Salakia. I thought I took a screenshot of that. But I looked into a military girdle, right? It was in a manners and customs book, a manners and customs of a Bible book, right? It was an older school one from a university. I forget the name of the university, but it went into the military girdle, on how it was fashioned. It was to it was fashioned. It was much thicker, right? The different materials it be made out of, like brass. You could imagine all your organs, so to speak, your vital organs would be covered by that girdle, man. An arrow or a sword try to pierce through the girdle that's made out of brass, is hard, right? Don't get through, right? But it was talking about how it represents preparedness, man. Right? So the scriptures talk about being girded with truth. When you wake up, you pray to the Most High, you read, you're putting the truth on. You're girding yourself with truth to take to face the day. Oh, and here we go. They also talked about this too, right? Verse 34, Matthew 6 and 34. It says, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow," right? So tomorrow, don't worry about tomorrow. You worry about tomorrow if you get to tomorrow. "For the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." So there's enough evil for you to worry about today. Okay? There's enough evil for you to worry about today. You have a battle that you're worried that you need to worry about today. You're gonna be attacked by Satan, okay? And that battle is gonna be enough for you to deal with today, right? So I think I got that other precept right here, right? This is Ephesians 6:14. It says, "Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness." So this is talking about the spiritual armor, man. When you wake up in the morning and you put on, you prepare yourself, you pray unto the Most High, you pray Shalakia. Shalakia, man. People calling me. Salakia. So you wake up in the morning, you pray to the Lord, you pray to the Lord, strength, mercy, right? Different thing. You thank the Lord for making it to another day, right? And then you read, man. You get into the spirit. You get into the scriptures. You know, whether watching videos or reading, man. Which, reading first, you know, instead of shining that phone light in your face, or you might use your phone to read. But it would be better if you use the actual pages out of the book, you know, because you hop on the phone now you liable to get distracted with all kinds of things, you know. 15 minutes a day goes a long way. It says, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye may be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Right? So now you got the shield of faith, which you hide behind your faith. Right? Say like that movie 300, how they would put up those shields, shield wall. They all put up the shields to block the arrows from piercing anybody. Hey, when they had those shields raised and those arrows was coming down, right? Just talk about the fiery darts of the wicked. They couldn't see nothing. The scripture, Paul said, we walk by faith and not by sight. Right? So they shielded themselves. And we got to shield ourselves with our faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Blind faith, man. The Lord's going to put us in some predicaments where we ain't going to be able to see. You might not be able to see the escape, but the Lord going to make a way for you to escape out of that affliction, man, out of that situation. It says, and take the helmet of salvation. All right, now what is the helmet of salvation? Now there's a precept where it talks about let me see. I think I might have it up here already. Do I have it? Let me see. No, I didn't get that one either. Okay. It's all good though. We'll go back to here. Right? There's another precept that backs this up. When it talks about the helmet it says the helmet of the hope of salvation. Right? So a helmet goes upon your head. Right? So that's the mindset that's the earnest expectation of salvation upon your mind. Right? The mindset of you going through these things, you going through these spiritual battles, you worshiping and ministering unto the Lord and suffering these afflictions with the earnest expectation that if I remain faithful unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai and I shoot my faith by my works unto the end, The Lord's gonna give me salvation. That's that earnest expectation. That's why the other precept says what? The hope of salvation, which hope means an earnest, an expectation. Earnest expectation, right? It says the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Lord, right? Which is the scriptures. Okay. Now, 18, it says, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching there with all perseverance. And what's that say? And supplication for all saints. Right. So it goes back into that prayer, man. So I just wanted to do a quick video on that. Lord, will you edify? So like I'm gonna say shalom.